guys, my name is Eza and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a book review on Bookishly Ever After by Isabel Bandera. So the synopsis of this book is pretty simple. You get a book nerd called Phoebe. She wants to get a guy. So obviously she turns to her books to get some tips and tricks to get the guy. And that is essentially the whole plot. And so let's get to the review. I did not like this book. I gave this book a 2 out of 5. It just did not do it for me. The first problem that I encountered with this book is the writing. It felt too juvenile for my taste. It felt like I was reading a middle grade book, but the characters were 16. So there's definitely a disconnect between the two. So once you can't really connect to the writing, obviously you can't get into the plot and the characters and everything else because the writing you just can't get into. So the next problem that I had or encountered is I did not like the characters. I felt like they were very one-dimensional, they were bland, they were boring, and they were just very stereotypical. And the biggest problem I had with these characters was with the main character, Phoebe. I felt like she had no personality, she had no wit, she was an idiot, and she's just fucking stupid. Like, for example, in this book, I never got to know her as her. And the reason I say this is because everything that comes out of her mouth, everything that she does, is based off a character. It's like she's cosplaying or portraying her favorite character 24/7. You never get to know real her. All you see throughout the book is just her spouting all these lines that she reads from her favorite book to her crushes, and that is it. So even if the guy does like her eventually, it's kind of like, who do you really like? It's like, do you really like Phoebe or this character she's portraying? So I did not like that. And there's this thing that she does. She does all these hints, and the reason I put air quotations is because her hints are fucking stupid. Like, she dresses up nice, she puts on makeup, she texts her crush a bit, and she knits him a few socks. But that's it. And those are her hints, which she thinks are sufficient to get this guy to, get the point that she's interested in him more than just a friend. And I'm just thinking that's just complete BS. Because all the guys that I know, they don't understand hints. You need to be a little bit more direct. Or if you're, a bit too shy to be, straightforward, be like, hey, you want to grab coffee sometime? You need to at least build time. You need to talk to them more than just giving them a few hints of these bullshit hints and then just expecting them to, ask you out. First of all, the hints that Phoebe is giving all her crushes is just it can all be misconstrued as being friendly. And then another thing I don't like that she does is she likes to assume and jump to conclusions. For example, there's this other girl that likes Dev, which is her current crush. And then, so this girl is very hands-on type of person, likes to hug, likes to kiss and stuff. So obviously Dev being the sensitive, stereotypical guy, so he doesn't push her away. And then Phoebe misconstrues or misunderstands the situation and just assumes that Lexi is Dev's girlfriend. And then just mopes around, be's depressed, cancels their plan, thinks that Dev is playing her, completely just doesn't talk to him anymore, just bails on him. And I'm here just why didn't you just ask? You guys were friends before this. It doesn't hurt for you to ask him as a friend if he has a girlfriend or if Lexi means anything more. But no, she doesn't do that. She does the stupid route of not asking and just assuming and then just getting upset and taking it out on him because of her stupid assumptions. This is just fucking stupid. And I'm angry because she's a book nerd. Are all book nerds this stupid? I don't think so. Obviously, we're not this stupid because we read books. So, yeah. And then my next problem with this book is the pacing. I felt like it was so fucking slow. It's just ridiculous. I just couldn't understand why it was so slow. Why is the writing just so uninteresting? Maybe it's filled with a lot of fucking fillers that doesn't even give value to the plot. And the reason why I say fillers is because, I don't know, if plot points, they have a reason. Fillers, they don't have a reason to be there. It's just there just to fill the book so it looks like an actual book instead of a novella. It's just if the author had cut all these stupid fillers that does not give character growth, that does not show character development, that does not even allow us to know the characters more, to empathize with the characters, then just cut the shit out. Cut those fillers out and just throw it away, you know? It just made me feel like I'm reading nothing. I'm reading all these pages, but they're pages of nothing. And then connected fillers is a thing that I recently found out is a, I don't know, bookish pet peeve of mine, and it's called book inception. It's where the author, in Isabel here, she writes about these two completely different books and inserts them into Bookishly Ever After, her other book, right? And the reason why she inserts these two completely different books is because these two books are what Phoebe is currently reading. And she has this notebook where she writes down everything that the main characters from these two books does with their boyfriends or significant others. So she gets some tips and tricks. At first I thought it was cute because you can get to read what she reads. But then as I realized that she reads like all these trashy romance novels, and I would know trashy, I read historical romance, okay? And it's just like, if the plot of these two books were interesting in the slightest, then I wouldn't mind. But they're so boring, and they're just so stupid, and they're just a waste of space. Like, if I wanted to read about a girl called Kaylee who's having relationship problems because she's in a dilemma of either choosing her music career in the city or stay in her hometown with her uncle and give love a chance with a potato farmer, I would definitely read that book fucking separately. Again, the same goes to this girl called Maeve or whatever shit, and then she has problems with her boyfriend too because they're in a leprechaun war apparently, and then she feels that because she's such a fucking special snowflake that her boyfriend doesn't love her for her. He's just using her for the leprechaun war. Like, again, if I wanted to read this book, I would have read it separately. You don't need to put all these two books inside this one book that I'm currently reading. Like, you can't even make me remotely interested in the main characters of Bookishly Ever After. What makes you think that you would make me interested in these other two books, which are incomplete? So just cut them out. Just cut them out. Leave like one or two pages here and there, so we know what tips and tricks that we get. Okay? And then another thing that I didn't like was the fucking romance in this book. Like, I don't understand. The first part of the book, she likes Chris because like Chris looks like the, what do you call it, the lover for Maeve, this her favorite book character. Again, no personality. And then suddenly, just because her best friend M says that, hey Phoebe, Dev has a thing for you. And then suddenly, that literally the next page, she's just like gung-ho, really liking him. I just don't understand. I understand that teenagers, I was a teenager once too. Like, we all have this phase where we like somebody, but we never know why. But there must be like, even subconsciously, there must be a reason why you like this person. They might be hot, they might have a nice smile, they're funny, they're sweet, whatever. There must be something. You don't just like somebody out of the fucking blue just because your best friend says that they have a thing for you, okay? It just makes no sense. The romance is flimsy at best. And it's just, I just can't even with this book. I mean, like, there are a few things that I did like, but then because of the writing, because of the pacing and the characters, I just felt that it was not interesting. Like, for example, Dev is a person of color, he's Indian, and Grace is a lesbian. Like, because of everything else surrounding them, I felt like this diversity thing, it's not popping out to me because everything else is just shit, you know? I don't know, this review is just going fucking everywhere, so yeah.